So I've heard the argument that I think it was from Darren, if I am recalling it correctly. The argument was that the children are being mixed up and confused with Jordan's own children. Why would Jordan's own children be there on Thursday, May the 1st? And it should be easy to be able to track the children's location to see from the police perspective if indeed it was Jordan's kids or perhaps Jack and Lily, like the report is stating. One where you wouldn't have to rely on the potential suspect or witness in the circumstance in order to corroborate things. I just found a critical statement from Derwood O'Grady's, Darren Getty's, Derwood O'Grady. There was a big difference first when he first came around by the way he came on, represented himself on Justin at Clutch Them Pearls over at his live stream, and how he was over with Sonny, as in he BS'd them differently. Staunchly different. In Justin's, he was the opposite of, he acknowledges that his day is not worth a crap, his second half of it, whereas on Sonny's he introduces it more than once as being half of his day being just wonderful and bringing hope and all of this nonsense. He talks to them differently, but that's not what my point is. We have something critical here. This is a first public denial of what I believe is first public of the mathematics house. But it's Derwood who's introducing this term here. Timestamp 5730, there is no unaliving, there's no abduction, there's no child trafficking, there's no big math house
around me that I didn't know was connected until after I realized who it was. And then
what do you think happened to, like, what do you think is going
listen
on?
to this.
This is why I'm trying to communicate this stuff on social outlets.
Uh-huh.
That's the big deal. This has been worked up so big because just a couple people made a couple little mistakes at the start of this. There's no murder, there's no abduction, there's no child trafficking, there's no big meth house, there's no.
Well, boy, oh Derpwood. Who brought up Tweakerville? We're skipping ahead to another very interesting statement by Derpwood over on Clutch Them Pearls, Justin's live stream. Special shout out. This is a situation where he's admitting, RCMP if you're listening, to obstruction. The quote is, "The last important piece of information I got, I refused to tell them."
Believe this or not, she's my family. And I wanted to help Malaya.
Right.
And I wanted to help her because I do know so much about this. And I know what happened. And believe this or not.
Well, but if you know what happened, why are you not telling RCMP?
And this is another thing. Every time I talk on here, people say, "Oh, he's got to tell the cops. Got to tell the cops." I told the cops. They're not acting on what I told them at all. And the last couple of pieces, the last important piece of information I got, I refused to tell them, and I'll tell you why. What I need Malaya for now is to. I know that Malaya took the kids to the side of the road, and I know she transferred the kids into a vehicle,
Oh, I'm going to leave the link in this comment section because this interview is quite important. It doesn't get near as enough mention as it should, considering it's Derwood in it. So 104, timestamp 10405. Another key point here is the confirmation of Daniel being the disciplinarian. The claim is Daniel spanking the children in that sense. Derwood, of course, endorsed it. The statement, Daniel is more old school. I do believe in a slap on the air once in a while. Daniel's more old school. I do believe in a slap on the rear once in a while.
Does not believe in, like, for kids, she does not believe in any kind of corporal punishment. Like, she does not believe in a slap on the butt or even a slap on the hands.
Mm-hmm.
Now Daniel is more old school like myself, and I do believe in I do believe in a slap on the arse once in a while for a kid that's, but I mean, that's about it.
But why would she, why?
Tell me more, Derwood.
I just need to get away from Daniel. I don't know how to do it. The kids are here.
Kiki was crazy.
You just hit it right on the button. She wanted to get away from Daniel. She didn't know how to do it. And where I was going with what I was just saying to you is there are allegations of abuse in amongst there. And
Listen.
Malaya being so mild-mannered, I believe I don't have to believe.
Abuse from who?
I know she was... Pardon?
Abuse from who?
Well, what do you classify a slap on the arse as abuse? That's the whole question.
This is, of course, the first time that word's been brought up in any of his conversations in this sense. He's introducing this into the conversation. And immediately diverting, right? Once again, timestamp 11426. Derwood with some unintended truth slipping through, also known as leakage. He says there are allegations of ABUSE in amongst there. This is old Derwood leaking that abuse did occur. Then he goes ahead and minimizes it as talking about it in a way as though he's just referring to just slaps on the butt. Like, it's just so out of place when it comes to talking about a 4 and 6-year-old who are now missing.
She didn't know how to do it. And where I was going with what I was just saying to you is there are allegations of abuse in amongst there. And
Listen.
Malaya being so mild-mannered, I believe I don't have to believe.
Abuse from who?
I know she was... Pardon?
Abuse from who?
Well, what do you classify a slap on the arse as abuse? That's the whole question.
So in America, we are allowed.
So basically, he is telling us that Malaya did not like a slap on the ass.
Well, listen to how he comes back after the fact, after he gets questioned about it. You're the one who used the term. Why don't you expound on it, not continue to, turn it back and phrase it in the form of a question? Answer it directly. Why did you use that term? Never mind what other people consider. You're the one who brought up ABUSE. More unintended truth slipping through, Derwood. Timestamp 5730 talking about no big math house. You're acknowledging the fact that math exists in the situation, just not that big.
This is why I'm trying to communicate this stuff on on social outlets.
Uh-huh.
That's the big deal. This has
You
been
challenge
worked
him, he
up
gets
so
pissed.
big because just a couple people made a couple little mistakes at the start of this. There's no murder, there's no abduction, there's no child trafficking, there's no big meth house, there's no.
Interesting how he said all of this, and there's no big meth house. I had never heard meth up until the other day, until Derwood said that.
Timestamp 1 hour, 19 minutes, 48 seconds. Whenever Daniel raised his voice, this is Derwood talking about Daniel's anger issues, which in this particular interview and many more, he's contradicting his claims of Daniel being soft-spoken.
Disrespectful to him at all? No, not a bit being disrespectful.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is taking the sunrise over the water and savoring the ocean breeze.
And he said I was being
Daniels that are
disrespectful,
missing
and
now.
Correct.
They were Sullivan's,
Right.
and
Rainbow.
Malaya had a terrible time with Sullivan. He was very abusive, and I think Malaya was still, like, I don't know whether you believe in PTSD, but I think she had quite a bit of it from her previous relationship. And whenever Daniel has a temper, but all he ever does when he has a temper is raise his voice, and that terrified Malaya.
Uh-huh. Finally, thus far, old Derwood is claiming and admitting to being an agent of chaos, which is, you can consider leakage as well. He admitted to coming in and trying to stir things up, and he did. Well, let's listen.
As well. Right? Oh, is Leslie feeling bad? I'm sorry, Leslie. I hope you feel better, baby.
We had a little event there yesterday, and I think I caused it. I meant to stir things up because there was nothing happening, and I meant to stir things up, and I did. And she panicked. This is my belief now. She panicked, grabbed Meadow, and took off to the reservation.
Jack.
Why would she take the kids and make this big of a stir?
Because number one, she wanted out of there. The relationship was not going so great for a few reasons.
I've heard that.
The relationship, she now financially, Daniel was doing his part. Even though you see all these people on here screaming about Daniel working 1 day a week, well, that's bullshit, because the mill he works at is just up the road from where I did live. I just moved not too long ago. It's only a half a mile up the road from where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And just on a sec, what am I going here? And the reason I got to know Daniel was my youngest son worked at the same mill with him.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, they were only half a mile up the road. So they got to be pretty good friends, and they'd stop, of course, at the house. And my son's got an old camper and that down back that he sort of hangs out in by the water, and you know, he enjoys it back there.
So is Derwood's son and Daniel, they work together. Daniel saw one of his co-workers in the parking lot that day and spoke to them. Was it Derwood's son? Lived a half a mile from the mill.
So it sounds like Derwood's talking about how he's living a lot closer to where the trailer was just recently. Of course, he's got a vague way of describing it, but it sounds like he's just half a mile away from the mill, which isn't too far from where Daniel lives, if I'm correct. You're local, Derwood. Really local. What a freak. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this in the comments section below. Don't forget to check out this video that I posted. Peace.